Welcome back to another broadcast with DerkovRenault. I had a friend of mine actually send me a broadcast here recently, and what's actually ended up happening is that to be perfectly honest, I've had a lot of problems, health issues, things like that. And I've been away from, StarCraft for quite a while, and I really want to go ahead and try and get back into it. My friend Zeratool sent me this replay, and I said that I'd go ahead and I'd cast this, let's see here. And, I've been really out there looking. I've, kind of had my eyes opened. I've found somebody that I love dearly. She's really awesome, and she's, to be perfectly honest, she's wonderful. So she's actually helped me through quite a bit, helped me through my suffering of the migraines, and I'm really fortunate to have her. So I'm doing this cast with my friend, for my friend Zeratool here. He's going to be the Red Protoss versus Blue Terran. Wow. I've actually never seen this game. He sent this to me. He doesn't even know that I'm actually doing a live cast here on my channel. Let me actually just check in to see if if my Frag Nation channel is, if the community channel is actually being used, because it's actually not being used. I kind of want to bring that channel in as well. And if it's not being used, I'd like to go ahead and do that. Just for a friend of mine. It doesn't look like that it's being used. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I do a little bit of StarCraft here with my friend as well. So give me a quick second. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that up as well. All right. So, and folks, really quick. Again, my name is DerkovRenault. I do a lot of streaming for. Streaming for Frag Nation, and I actually do I do a strategic advantage for League of Legends, and then I also have my own little League of Legends show on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm always more than happy to go ahead and take suggestions and things like that, in case any of you guys have ever want to drop in, say hi, things like that, or even specific times. I know right now we're currently reworking the schedules on what's going to be the best time. So hold on here. Let's see. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and do this. I am currently live here. Yep. Righty. Okay. Cool. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to play. Again, Zeratool, I believe, is still in the Silver League. He's been doing a lot of work, and really, it's really kind of hard, especially on these really long maps. You typically won't spawn right across from. You typically don't spawn right across. Typically diagonal, but you'll never spawn on the same side as yourself, which is actually really great. Again, there's always a lot of things that you can always go ahead and that you can always learn. One thing that that you can do, always make sure that you keep an eye on your chrono boost. And one thing that you can do as Terran, always make sure that you keep an eye on your orbital command. Make sure that you keep an eye on your SCV production, things like that. Typical supply depot going down right up at the front. Pylons coming back here. I'm not sure if this was a random, if his opponent was random or not. Bringing the pylon back here and building the gateway, just knowing the map does have quite a long rush distance here. So, I mean, it can provide a lot of cover, and it can provide a lot of comfort. So you can go ahead and you can get your gateway, you can get your cybernetics core, you can get your zealot down here in order to block that off from any type of Zergling rush. So you can, really safely take your main, block that off. It's not really going to be vulnerable to Reapers. You got all this little shrubbery back here, for Terran. I've noticed that a lot of the newer maps nowadays, they've blocked a lot of the Reaper playoff, which personally I'm a little sad about. But my favorite race is Terran. Looks like that we have another Rax and a supply depot going down. Looks like Rax probably started on 12. Supply depot started on 12 as well. Very interesting play coming out from Blue. They both do have their stuff hotkeyed. Zeratool sending out a probe to scout. It's always wise to scout, just in case, if you scout, you can find some cheese sometimes, be able to be ready for it, be able to prevent it. Zeratool is doing this, typical, except he's getting the 2 gases. Typically I always, open pylon gateway, cybernetics core, or pylon gateway, gas, cyber core, then I go ahead and I'll throw the other gas, and then I'll try and get another pylon. But again, whichever works. Zeratool does go ahead and he does scout up here. He does notice that it is walled off. Let's see if he actually sees that other. He does see the other barracks that's there, and he's going to be kind of sneaky. And this is actually really sneaky here. And it does look like that wow. He's putting a little pylon there right up in that. I never noticed that there was actually a little back ridge in that base. Huh. Quite interesting. Okay, so folks, if you guys are playing Terran, be very careful for this 3rd base right here to be you could have to worry about a pylon or some siege tanks there in case that they are dropped. Now, one really good thing about this map is that you do have a fairly large main. This can hinder Zerg because the main is so large. You can't really cover it all with creep. Drops can happen up over here. For Terran and Protoss, it's nice because you're going to be able to spread out. Now, Zeratool is taking his base, is taking an expansion base. He does feel safe. Seeing that there are 2 barracks there, I don't know if I'd actually go ahead and if I'd actually play the expansion down myself. But, again, sometimes you can get away with it, and it is a risk. He does have the pylon there, so he can start warping down reinforcements. He's actually done a much better job of keeping down his chrono boost. He is getting out a single stalker. I would actually go ahead and highly recommend chrono boosting out the cybernetics core for the warp gate research. The warp gate research is really awesome, especially once you start getting a lot of the warp gates going. And it looks like that he's just trying to warp out a couple of stalkers here. Now, the 2 stalkers should be able to fend off 4 marines, but he does have Blue has 3 barracks going, and he's doing a lot of scanning. And with Blue, I would actually just lower a supply depot, sacrifice an SCV, because if you look at the income tab, I mean, Red has 27 harvesters to Blue's 14. That's really going to hinder Blue in the long run. Unfortunately, right now, Zeratool does not have a lot of production structures, and that's going to hinder him severely. Especially since this Marauder's out. The Marauder's going to be able to do a massive amount of damage because Zeratool only has 1 production structure. Blue has 3 production structures. He can produce 2 Marauders, and since he is engaging, he does manage to snipe off 1 Marine. Unfortunately, with the Marauder there, the Marauder's just going to give him that much more power. Yeah, and I don't know, it looks like that he's going to sacrifice it, and he may be able to buy himself just a little bit of time. These gateways are currently coming down. They are a little bit behind. He does not have enough to chrono boost that last little bit for the warp gate, but that's okay. There's only 9 seconds left on that. He does have a single stalker coming out. Since he does actually have a Marauder in play, I would desperately try and go for a few zealots into that mix as well. Now, Blue did cross scout, so Zeratool was able to be successful in sending his opponent off to the wrong avenue. Now, Zeratool is warping in. He does have plenty of supply left. He has a forge that's coming down. Now, Zeratool needs to keep in mind that he still has this pylon here, and in case that there's a really big attack, which is what's coming up now, he can go ahead, he can warp in a few zealots and send them back into cause Blue in order to retreat. Now, right now with Zeratool, what I'd really want to see is a lot of zealots in this army because, he did show stalkers first. Now Blue is starting to rally. If Blue comes up here without his full force, he's gonna lose those 3 units very, very quickly, and he is coming back. Let's see here. He's got a total of looks like 6 Marauders and 6 Marines. This is not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough stalkers in order to stop that. Zeratool does. Oh no! The Stimpack has finished, and he's just now warping in some zealots. What he needs to do is he needs to pull the probes off the line in order to deal with the Marines and the Marauders, and unfortunately, wow, this is absolutely brutal. Even though that he does have the Harvester advantage, sometimes you just, there you go, Zeratool. Sometimes you just have to go ahead and you have to sacrifice the probes. No, you need to turn the probes around and attack. The probes with the probes would have actually been able to do quite a bit of damage to the Marauders and the Marines. Even though that, yes, you would have lost them, you still would have been able to go ahead and keep them up. Because I mean, he doesn't have any kind of a medevac over here. He did end up losing another gateway. The major problem with Marines and Marauders this early is that you don't have the medevac, and this would almost be game over. Let's see. I know that. Oh wow. Zeratool has quite a bit of money left. He's making quite a few more pylons. He has another Nexus down. But with Protoss and stuff like that, I mean, guys, you can always pull your probes off. If you take a look and you highlight this, I mean, look at how much life that these things have left. And the Marauders, they don't really shoot all that fast. They don't do a whole lot of damage. It takes 4 shots for them to kill a probe. All of these, add the probes stuck around, they could have done quite a bit of damage. Warped in a few more sentries, a few more stalkers. You would have been able to. You can go ahead and do that. I mean, these Marines are really low on life. It's one hit from a probe. Blue right now is probably feeling extremely confident that Blue's probably feeling extremely confident that he's got the game in the bag. But again, never say die. He's sending up more reinforcements here, and at this point, yeah, I mean, it's time to abandon the base. This is going to be a little, I mean, this right here is going to be a little hard in order to deal with, especially, well, here's the problem with Blue. Blue has not transitioned, and if you don't transition, if you don't do any type of a transition in a game, it can seriously hinder you. Notice Blue has not expanded, so he's not only down, I mean, if you take a look at his mineral fields, he's still got quite a few minerals that are left. If you take a look at Zeratool's mineral fields, Zeratool's fairly mined out. He's kept a great amount of resources on on point. He's got a few well-positioned photon cannons. I would like to see maybe 1 or 2 more right here, kind of right around here, so that he could go ahead and take a look at them. But additionally, he's starting to rebuild, and he was able to save a lot of his probes. I mean, he has 27 probes. He has a full base saturation. Blue has no clue where he is. In Zeratool's position, I would probably try and get a robotics bay and try and pump out a few. If I could, I'd try and pump out a few observers, just kind of wander around the map, figure out where Blue's troops are. Is it safe to expand, things like that. As you can see, I mean, Blue right now is at 71 out of 75, and he's just now getting an expansion down. Zeratool has enough to expand, but he's probably waiting in order for his gateways to finish so he can start focusing on an army. He is at a serious disadvantage. He is getting +1 armor, which is going to be able to counteract the +1 weapons that Blue has. The +1 weapons, the +1 armor. So, I mean, they're going to be even. I do like the sentries. The sentries with the force fields, especially if Blue tries to rush up this ramp, is going to cut the army in half. And right now, I mean, Blue has his army separated, and unfortunately for Blue, what's gonna wind up happening is if Blue keeps too much of a separation with his army, and Zeratool finds this very weakened Marine Marauder force, he's going to be able to take it off. And Zeratool is going to be able to do a lot of devastation. Is going to be able to do a lot of devastation to Blue, because right now all of these troops that are right here, they're not getting healed. And since they're not getting healed, they're not going to be. They're not getting used. They're not. And Zeratool just kind of slides right by. which is oh wow, that's really brave, Zeratool. I don't really think I would do that if I were you, but oh no, is he going to be able to cancel? Oh, it goes down. Oh, it looks like that he was able to cancel Nexus, not the Pylon or anything else. So blue is coming up here now. Mind you, Zeratool has quite a few zealots. And unfortunately, right now, Zeratool has quite a few cannons that are up here. He also has quite a few zealots. He has some sentries here. One marauder wound up trapped between the force fields. But unfortunately, right now, I mean, blue just lost a huge blow to his army. Zeratool has a lot of zealots. He does not have the charge. If he picks up the charge, it's going to help him out immensely. And he's researching zealot legs. Once charge is down, and since he does have a high number of zealots, blue doesn't have enough marines to deal with this force. And if you take a look right now, look at all these marauders' lights. I mean, 125. I mean, granted, this one cannon, with these zealots, are just going to be able to tear through this force. And I mean, blue still doesn't have the harvesters yet in order to tap up to it. Now, placing the force field there is not necessarily the greatest idea. Now he did manage to go ahead and push blue out. Typically, what ends up happening, what you guys want to do, is if you split the force, pull back, let the photon cannon, take out whatever it needs to take out. You also want to try and pepper in this mix. You also want to try and pepper in, a few more zealots, and also a few stalkers. Even though the stalkers are going to get taken down by the, even though that if they may get taken down by the marauders very easily, the marauders are going to shoot the zealots first. Just remember that. And then if they wind up shooting the zealots first, your stalkers are going to live longer. Right now, now we can see, Zeratool can't see what his opponent's doing, and we can see the food count. Blue is in dire straits. He just wasted his whole army. Blue right now is just now getting a starport, and that's going to hurt him. And if you take a look at this, Blue doesn't have the economy. He doesn't have the SCVs in order to go ahead and take Zeratool on. Now, Zeratool does not see this other expansion that's going down, but he does have a pylon here in order to start warping in on, if he wants to. Now, at this point, Blue is still going very, very marauder heavy. If we go ahead and look at the production tab, Blue's still going very marauder heavy. I don't think he's gotten an armor yet, so he's still sitting at 1-1 upgrades. Zeratool is just pumping out the upgrades. Zeratool is now at 2 armor, 1 attack. Zeratool is now expanding, and Zeratool just has a massive army. And with the sentries, if he does manage to pop the Guardian Shield, and this is going to be a key play right here, especially with the Zealots and the sentries. And he does actually see the command center, and what'll wind up happening is that since there's only 2 medevacs, they're only going to be able to heal 2 at once. And unfortunately for this poor little command center, the SCV wound up dying, and Zeratool's probably going to lose all of these units unless, he's going to wind up losing all of these units, but he's doing something that it may not necessarily be the best, right now, but in the long run, it'll do a lot of damage because those medevacs have used up a lot of that energy, and right here would be the perfect time to go ahead and pop the Guardian Shield. Not that it's needed because Zeratool massively outnumbers Blue in that regard. Blue, he does have 1-1, and he had the upper hand. Unfortunately, he made the mistake of trying to just charge up this ramp instead of backing off, and he didn't heal his army. Zeratool now is actually taking command. Blue does have the supply, but he doesn't have the harvesters. If we go back to the income tab, Blue still only has 26 harvesters. Zeratool still has quite a few minerals. He needs to go ahead and continue to go ahead and pump out harvesters. He probably needs to transfer some of these probes all the way down here, start making a few more. Now granted, this is a Silver League. This is a Silver League game, but this is what happens when you don't have a clear idea of a transition. you need a good transition in order to proceed, in order to progress. You can't just relax because you can't find your opponent. The awesome transition to the Zealots with charge, the perfect counter, was the perfect counter to the massive amount of tanks, to the massive amount of Marauders. Because Marauders, they only do 10 damage to a Zealot, and that's going to take 15 hits. Unlike a Stalker, to where a Stalker is only going to take 2 or 3 hits. Right here, he probably could have lived just a little bit longer had he had raised his supply depots. But again, it also comes down to the fact, it also comes down to the Harvesters. Blue was behind so far in the entire game in the Harvester count that Zeratool was able to power ahead the entire game and still survive. Even though Zeratool did lose his main base here, he was able to recover over here, rebuild, and he was able to recover. Now, you can't always recover like that, but it is nice when you are able to, with that. So, a lot of what ends up happening with folks is that, there is no transition. They have no ability to, they have no ability to really transition, or to say, hey, look, this would be awesome, or, hey, look, I can do this, or, I can do that. I did recently play, let's see, I played a couple of games here. If you guys give me a moment, I'll actually go ahead and try and find a game that I played. Here, just give me a quick second, because again, it's been a while. I've been suffering from chronic migraines for probably about the past, for the past couple of months, and really, what ends up happening is it's tough when you're in a constant state of pain. Again, I have to thank the wonderful woman, that I call my girlfriend, for sticking by me with this, and it means a lot to me. She is my wonderful kitten that I do love dearly. Really, it's hard. I mean, it's really just kind of hard sometimes in order to, deal with, some of the hardships and, things like that, that come. And, if you're able to find, if you're really able to find a few things, in your life that you can hold on to, that you can cherish, and that you can love, that's, really that's what you need to hold on to. You need to be able to be a team player. You need to be able to, relationships take time, and they really do. So, but again, a lot of what ends up happening is, this actually isn't the game that I was looking for. A lot of what ends up happening is, for those of you guys that are out there that have a girlfriend, cherish them, hold them, things like that. Make sure that you keep them close. If you guys are in a relationship to where it's not a two-way relationship, you guys need to get out. It's not always the greatest. It's not always the best. Sometimes it can help, sometimes it can't. But remember, we're all human beings. We all have feelings, so to speak. So what I'm actually trying to do is I'm actually trying to find the game that I'm actually trying to find this battlecruiser game that I played, to where these guys actually went to a battlecruiser, and it was actually really, really funny, because they wound up going battlecruisers, and they wound up going battlecruisers in fours, and it was just really kind of an interesting combination, because that's not something you expect. You don't expect them to rush battle cruisers in fours. You expect your typical your typical rush, so to speak. I guess I don't have it anymore. I thought it was on this map, but that's okay. You know what? Let's just take. Let me search through a couple of replays here, and I'll do another one here for you guys, just real fast. Let's see. I want to find a good replay with, good transition, things like that, so I can go ahead and explain. And like I said, I haven't really been here, so to speak, rather per se, to where I've been kind of out of it. It's been hard to cast, it's hard to think, talking on the phone and stuff makes it really, really hard. After about 5 minutes, I'm just, at a debilitating migraine. It's just, it's one thing right after another, and back and forth and stuff like that. So. But, yeah, I think this is actually a really good game. Alright, so, we are going to go ahead and do this game. Give me a quick second to go ahead and bring the stream back up. I'm just going to let this game play for a second. Alrighty. Alright, this is actually a good game that actually had a really good transition here. It's a little bit of a 2v2, and, what ends up happening, Terran and Protoss versus, Terran and Protoss mirror matchup. I don't know why, I really don't know why Blizzard does this, but typically if you're random, it typically tends to match you up with, if for a mirror matchup. Be back really quick. I'm going to go ahead and grab me a quick drink of water. 1 second. And this is just kind of the boring intro here. I'll let you guys see some epic SCV combat here. Alright. As you can see, both sides are sending out their little scouts, and here comes the epic SCV Mortal Kombat. Now granted, my SCV ends up getting wailed on. I pull another SCV off the line in order to deal with him. And he just decides to go ahead and try and run around my base. And it's okay. I don't mind. In blue, my partner Teal gets up in their base going, "Hey dudes, what's going on? Hey, I'm out having a great old time." And Red pulls a probe off the line going, "Hey dudes, you can't be here, man. This is our base." And as you can see, my little SCV comes out over here. I think Blue's SCV wound up leaving. Either that or I killed it, I don't remember. It's okay. But, again, Teal's SCV's running around going, "Dude, this is kind of cool." I can see, when he brought down his orbital command, and here comes Blue being a party pooper with the Marine. Here's the Marine. It's game over. Party's over. Oh, there we go. There's the Marine. Oh, wait, is he gonna, and the probe escapes! Dun, 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 it's the death-defying probe. Now, I've gotten a really great scout of their base. I didn't see a second barracks going down. I'm pretty comfortable here. I don't know. Blue didn't wall in, but that's okay. I got a Marine coming out, and I was going to come in, try and shoot the probe, but then the probe decided to go ahead and leave. And, the probe's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the watchtower, because the watchtower seems like a really great idea. Maybe not. Never mind. I think I'm just gonna go to Pieces. Hello, Zealots. My name is now Pieces. And as you can see, I try and keep my, orbital command kind of low. And it's just, it's your typical opening. Blue doesn't have the tech add-on yet, but, I do. I'm not going for the factory. Blue is. But if we take a look at the, I like to get Stem Pack first, just because Stem Pack and a bind can go ahead and it can save you. Then I'm gonna get, then I'm gonna go ahead and get, some concussive shells. I'm figuring, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 4-gate. Gonna try and pressure us a little bit. I'm keeping my energy low, and we haven't really heard from them. They haven't really sent another scout by. They haven't really done anything else. And if we take a look at, level, number 1, they're not trying to be aggressive. They're not trying to really do much. Hey, look, they got a few observers. Awesome. So, it's great. We got our guys kind of chilling here. Teal doesn't really have much. I don't have much. If they attacked us with the full force, we'd kind of be screwed. If we go ahead and if we go, to like our vision, we don't see what they have. They don't see what we have. We got a lone zealot over there for whatever reason. And Blue's got a lone marine. Haha. They're checking our, our expansion, seeing if we've expanded or anything else, and tucking stuff back, tucking stuff away back here. It's really awesome. It really is. So I go ahead and I pull my forces out. The observer probably catches my forces a little bit. And the observer's just kind of floating around the map going doo doo doo. And typically in a 2v2 game by now, by now it's you've seen some combat, you've seen a little blood, a little bit of gore going roar, army hearties. Red's just kind of chilling here, trying to be cool, going, you guys don't see me, but I see you. Blue's coming over here trying to, find a place to land in order to expand, and, we're gonna go ahead and we're like, attack! And, we figure we have, enough in order to do quite a bit of damage, and if we go ahead and go to the income counting station, and for the harvesters, Red's got 26, Blue's got 30, I've got, 25, wow. Man, I must have been slacking. Yeah, that's slacking. It's okay. Teal's got 32, and we take out the poor lone zealot that's there. And this is where our coordination was not really the greatest, because if we take a look at our site, hey, look, I scan, look what I see. I decided to go for the expansion. My partner decides to go for the front door. I'm blowing up SCVs, I'm blowing up the expansion, he's running his command center away, my partner's trying to blow up the front door. They managed to get a bunker down. There's a lot of force fields that are going down, and I get tired of trying to blow up the expansion. We come up over here in the front door. Here come the SCVs going, roar, we can attack. And then all of a sudden I see Colossi, I see Immortals, and I'm going, wow, this is so kind of a wasted and dead attack. But, right now I see that they're going Colossi, Immortals. I'm just going, okay, need to go with a lot of Marines. Maybe a few Vikings and stuff like that. So, I'm only producing off of 3 racks, which is not necessarily the greatest in the world. He's trying to retreat his probe in his one little sentry. If they were to attack, they'd probably decimate us. Blue's got his SCVs chilling over here. I'm expanding, and for me, it's like, normally I do an orbital command, but this time I just felt safer doing a planetary fortress. For whatever reason, I don't know why. Now, I built a factory, building a reactor, because, that attack was kind of pointless and stupid, and I want my units to be healed. So, it's okay. Unfortunately, Teal is trying to get a warp prism out, and it's not going to survive. And then there's the Banshee. The Banshee spots the Warp Prism, and unless you like tuck the Warp Prism way over here, it's going to be absolutely worthless. You know, and then here's the Stalker. The Warp Prism's like, I'm going to get away! Nope. And there it goes, crashing all the way down into the crevices and disintegrating. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Look, there's little Arcturus' power station. Just noticed that. Sorry, don't mind me. You know, Red's finally starting to expand. Blue's back, trying to get his SCV back working. You know, I'm finally catching up in the production. You know, so you know, I'm starting to rally my troops up front because I feel comfortable, and I'm going to try and get myself another expansion. I know that they got Colossi, so I want me some Vikings. Yeah, some Vikings, because the Vikings are going to prove to be absolutely critical. And I'm going to go ahead and, you know, swap it up a little bit. A few Vikings, a few dropships, you know, medevacs. You know, and my partner Teal is, to be honest, I don't think we really said one word to each other the entire game. You know, I come over here, you know, I'm checking, okay, cool. There's, you know, nothing there. Awesome. I'm coming over here, checking, okay, cool, there's nothing over here. Awesome. I come over here, check, yeah, there's nothing. And I was like, yeah, this might be a good place in order to go ahead and make another little settlement. You know, getting another command center, getting supply locked. As you can see, I'm queuing up quite a few supply depots. Let's go to the unit counting station here, or, yeah, Army tab. There we go. Go to the Army tab. Yeah, they way out-army us. But, you know, as my supply depots come readily available, I'm rocking it out, and I'm slowly catching up. And I got 89 to 90, or I got 81 out of 89, and still climbing, and, you know, slowly catching up, and you know, Fred's coming over here trying to get the gold. You know, Blue's expanding a little bit more. He's trying to get a few more supply depots so he doesn't get supply locked like me. Me being, you know, not necessarily all the brightest one here. You know, I'm just trying to get some Vikings. You know, I'm doing really good, and I keep my minerals low. And you know, right here, all of a sudden, boom! I see that. Oh man, they're trying to break down my rocks to my back door. That's absolutely horrible. You know, so I got my Vikings and my little Marines coming over here, and, you know, all of a sudden, look what I see. I see two Colossi, and the Colossi are by themselves. Now, my Vikings are going to be able to pick off the Colossi, not a problem. Now, without the Colossi, he loses a lot of power, and, you know, he has this one lone immortal, and all of a sudden his Stalker army is absolutely decimated. Now, I have started to get a couple of siege tanks, which the siege tanks are, you know, extremely helpful. And, you know, with the Vikings, you know, I'm just going to fly around and see what kind of damage I can do. And they're trying to regroup. And here's the battle cruisers. This isn't a game that I wanted to show you guys, but that's okay. You know, battle cruisers can decimate. Battle cruisers can do a lot of damage. And he's, you know, being preemptive, picking up his command center and flying away so we don't blow up. And, I mean, you know, as you can see, you know, doing quite a bit of mining, moving, you know, my troops back over into position. And we don't even know that they have battle cruisers yet. No, I wound up finding out that I have battle cruisers later by doing a scan, but, you know, that's okay. And, you know, right here, as you can see, hey, look, I'm getting upgrade, rock. You know, no problem, you know, I got a couple of siege tanks, you know, got some Vikings, you know, transferring some probes, or SCVs. Hey, look, I'm running another command center. And now, here comes the, Mule Brigade. What I do recommend if you guys are Terran, don't always, you know, keep dropping mules in your main base. Drop them over at your expansions, because mine those expansions out and try and save your main as much as you can. Just because, I mean, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be really, really keen. And as you can see, hey, look, we actually find out that they have battle cruisers. Battle cruiser operational. Now, his battle cruisers are 2-2. My Marines are 1-0. That sucks. Or 1-1. So, you know, I start going ahead and, you know, researching, you know, 2-2, trying to, you know, compete and compare. And then all of a sudden going, okay, I'm going to need quite a few more barracks, you know, I need some more supply depots, I'm going to need a lot more Vikings, yeah. I mean, as you know, I got 8 Vikings. 8 Vikings can do quite a bit of damage to the battle cruisers, except for when the battle cruisers have a Yamato gun. Yeah, Yamato guns suck. And as you can see, Red's trying to come over here, and he's going to poke, and he's going to do probably quite a bit of damage to me. But I see Red's being really cool, and he's trying to shoot blow up my refineries, which is, perfectly alright with me. No hard feelings. I was going to go ahead and I was going to drop on him. And, he manages to kill, a couple of marauders, and no hard feelings. I decided to take a couple of colossi with me. Yeah, no hard feelings, right? Yeah. So, and, he's still got this pylon over here that I have no idea absolutely exists. So, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my little marauder force, and, I'm going to go ahead and try and drop again. Yeah, but, let my medevacs heal the marauders up. As you can see, I'm not producing any more Vikings, but hey, look, this is a really cool Viking fleet. Now, Blue has a really awesome battlecruiser fleet. He's got 8 battlecruisers. I'm sorry, folks, 8 battlecruisers, that's a lot. And that can do a lot of damage. Now, he did wind up, canceling his little expansion, and, the Stalker's going to try and chase down the little SCV, and, I think that the Stalker's actually going to meet his demise due to Battlecruiser Operational. Oh no, hey look, you might be able to pick up a Viking for free. Oh, hey look. Oh, looks like a Marine for the kill steal. Red's still chilling here. He's just got one little observer. I'm still just mining out this little expansion base over here. Blue's patrolling. He's got 2 Ravens, and Ravens are really good because they can put down those point defense drones to absorb all of those hits from the Vikings. But as you can see, my Viking fleet's slowly getting bigger. Building more supply depots because we keep getting supply locked. I got building more barracks. They decided to put a reactor on here because I want more Marines. Because, Marines versus battlecruisers are not necessarily the greatest in the world, but hey, it's another target that the battlecruiser has to shoot at. Now, the battlecruiser has an armor plating of 5. Oh, hey, look. Dead observer. One bad thing about trying to follow a battlecruiser when it has a Raven with you doesn't quite really work. Now, with that, I see that all of their forces are here. I was originally going to come over here and drop. Yeah, not necessarily the greatest idea in the world. That's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go try and fly around and try and backdoor that. Now, mind you, my Marines deal 8 damage. The battlecruiser absorbs 5. So my Marines are only doing 3 damage a shot. Now the battlecruisers are doing 11 to my Marines. Now, granted at this point in time, the Marines are only absorbing 2. So the Marines won't be able to live very long. Now, my partner does actually say ink. Now, this is a lot of battlecruisers. This is 10 battlecruisers. And the 10 battlecruisers is really going to hurt. Now, he has 10 battlecruisers, 16, 19 stalkers, and he's got quite a few colossi. Now, my partner decides to engage the battlecruisers with the stalkers. Now, some of the battlecruisers do manage to go down. Now, the point defense drones, when they go down, buy battlecruisers a lot of time. Unfortunately, the battlecruisers are not sturdy enough to handle this many stalkers with this many Vikings in tow. Now, had there been a few more Immortals down with Red's army, there might have been a better chance of survival. The problem is that the Vikings were able to mop up the battlecruisers, and the Vikings are able to mop up pretty much everything else, in the air. Now, all that's happening right here is that, Teal is, fending off Red. You have my small piddly ground force, but here is where my drop happened. And with the drop, unfortunately, it drops into the main base and completely obliterates Blue's supplies. And when you don't really stop, when you put all your eggs in the one basket for the battlecruisers, and your partner can't really counter that, especially with, again, here's a whole Marine Marauder army that's down here. Now there's 2 tabs of it. It's really hard to counter that, especially when you have another drop coming up back here into your main base. There's just so much that's going on that, I would probably say one of the better plays would have been to get some Templars and Storms in order to go ahead and deal with that. The major problem is that the battlecruisers are very, very slow, granted, they do a lot of damage very, very quickly. It's just very hard to control them because they're, an extremely slow unit. When you have mobile ground forces that are hitting you from all ends, you have to attack the main belly of the beast, and losing your entire force here really hurt. Having the point defense drones out probably a little earlier might have turned the tide, but also, maybe the additional stalkers might have as well. But, again, I transitioned because I saw a lot of, Immortals, a lot of Colossi. Granted, yeah, I knew that the Colossi were going to go ahead and melt my Marines, but if I had enough Vikings, that wasn't going to matter, and my Marines were going to go ahead and just absolutely melt, the Immortals. And they were also going to go ahead and they were going to melt all of the Stalker army as well. I wasn't really too worried about blue, because I figured that blue was going air, and my Marines can handle air very, very well. And as you can see, I finished up with 3-3. And when you have, 3-3, 3-3 Marauders, 26 versus armor, lots of stuff is not going to live very long. But at any rate, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed the double cast of both my friend Zeratool and also a small transition game here with myself and a miscellaneous partner here. So, again, thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy. And tune into Frag Nation community channel and also Frag Nation, also the main Frag Nation as well. So thank you guys very much, and you guys can also catch me on YouTube at Catcher545. I'll have these videos uploaded there relatively soon. Thank you guys very much, and you have a good night.